Hello everyone, and welcome to the Generic Live Hangout, the show that takes you behind the scenes of everything going on here at GLS HQ. That includes the Generic Live Show, a Generic Live Home, a Generic Live Store, Generic Live Show Store, everything going on Geek.io production-wise, and other fun stuff hopping and happening here in the great land down under. My name's Campbell. Thank you very much for joining me on another episode of the Generic Live Hangout. A huge thank you to King Mick KKE, King MCKKI, for dropping $10, $10 on us in the pre-show. Greatly appreciate it. And if you want to donate, you can. It's greatly appreciated. There are many ways that you can support us. I said this on the Generic Live show this last week. There are a huge number of ways to support us. Donating to us directly here on Twitch, on this Twitch channel, and the Geek.io show channel is another way that you can support us over there as well. Patreon, a Patreon page, Patreon, Geek.io, on Patreon, the Generic Live Home, geek-io.net/Generic Live Home. I feel like this is just plugs all at once, but there we do appreciate non-fiscal support as well. This Twitch channel is really hosted for this behind-the-scenes stuff. So everything you need is over at twitch.tv/Geek.io show. Fleetwood Gaming asks if I'm a social justice warrior. I mean, I don't consider myself one. I definitely don't consider myself one, although I'm not too familiar with the term. So I've heard the term, but I haven't done any research into it. I don't consider myself one. That should say. I hate Twitch and how it doesn't let you edit comments. There you go. Could you imagine? Okay, sidebar. Could you imagine if Twitch let you post? If Twitch let you edit chat comments after the fact, that would cause so much havoc. Fleetwood Gaming asks if I'm a liberal or a conservative. Different terminology for what I am here locally, because I am Australian, but I am kind of middle, but left-leaning, if that makes sense. So, there you go. Editable chat comments after the fact would wreak havoc on the earth, right? It would cause so much drama. But that would definitely cause a lot of drama. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for their support for the last Generic Live Hangout, the show that was the behind-the-scenes show here. I want to try and get that out as closer to the month as I can, and I only put it out on the YouTube, but I want to see if I can try and move that closer to the proper feeds and the audio feeds as well. It's been a long day, so I'm going to be doing a lot of and ahhing in this episode. I'm sorry, but I'm going to try and look at getting it on the official feed as well, because I think a lot of the audience would like to know what's happening. I think the point of this show, like I said last month, was the point of it was to see behind, like, kind of go behind the curtain and be transparent with people. And as we'll get into a little bit later on, that transparency kind of pays off. Fleetwood Gaming asks, what do I normally talk about in your stream? This channel's a little bit neglected in a way, but the Generic Live Show as a whole it's a variety show. It's basically whatever's happening in the week is kind of where I sit for the Generic Live Show. It's whatever's happening, whatever's hip and happening, and whatever I see fit goes in the Generic Live Show. But this channel kind of has taken a little bit of a back seat, seeing that we can't simulcast anymore, which is kind of a shame because this channel was yes, it's a little bit slim, but there was some interaction on this channel as well as the Geek.io proper channel. So this is saved for kind of behind the scenes. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Show. I'm replying to chat, and that is a very, very bad habit to get into. So there you go. And it's just all me doing it, which is hard managing some of the production sometimes. On particularly bigger shows like the Generic Live Show to handle live call-ins and handled the chat and that sort of stuff as well. But we'll get into a little bit of that later on. Now, to recap the month that was Generic Live Show, we didn't have one episode, so we had 3 episodes in February. Because one week I had to take off because of a technician that I was waiting for that never showed up. So, kind of, it was weird because I was planning on doing the show the next day, but I think I was just so I want to get this AC fixed and I didn't really want to do anything else outside of getting the AC fixed that week. So it was kind of like I need to get, that was my project for the week, was getting the AC fixed. And yes, I do have my AC fixed, but I can't have it on while I'm recording because it interferes with my mic too much. So there is that. It's kind of, it was kind of getting to the point where it was ridiculously hot, and it's still a little hot now because I've had it off because I've done back-to-back recordings. I've done about 6 hours worth of recording today, and being on mic and talking off mic, it's not unusual for me to do a 6-hour day, but I'm just saying, post that was a little bit, But some moments from the Generic Live Show in February, we did do a Sports Ball / Superb Owl episode, and that kind of fell a little flatter than what I'd hoped. I'd built up, I built up a kind of I built myself up to have it be a generic live locker room, and I'm going to have clips and all that sort of stuff, and it kind of didn't work out that way, unfortunately. And the show kind of didn't suffer from that because it wasn't all of that. It was just half of the first, I think the first half of both hours were, so most of the show was. But I saw it kind of falling flat, and I kind of put some other stuff in there as a security blanket. Fleetwood Gaming asks, so your stream is kind of a free-for-all to discuss whatever you feel. Is there certain topics you enjoy discussing with your viewers? Yes. I do take suggestions as well for topics, not on this show, but for Generic Live Show. I particularly enjoy talking about... Oh God, what topics do I enjoy talking about? I think... politics to a certain extent. I think it can get a little interesting, and I think some of the raw moments on the Generic Live Show have been from those moments where it's just like, this story hits me in a particular way. But I definitely enjoy kind of discussing topics that are a little different. So kind of because I'm Australian, I kind of have that perspective on an American story. I veered away from the gun control conversation last week, which is a shame, because I wish I could have ingrained that more, but I had 2 weeks of content to try and snow down on, and I think the Generic Live Show prospers with fun content. Not that those topics aren't important, they're definitely serious, but I feel like need to be dealt separately outside of the show. But definitely stories where I could bring a unique perspective are the ones that I enjoy. The toys in the background. I've got a couple of dragons here from DragonCon, which is an event held over the Labor Day weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. This kangaroo... Oh, I just knocked... sorry, this is a Captain America plushie that I also got from Atlanta, Georgia. You got Bulbasaur, Elsa, and my high school volleyball trophy. I'm not letting go of that. And I got a kangaroo, because of course I do, as well. I understand Australia has an energy crisis, says Fleetwood Gaming. Absolutely. Absolutely. Electricity is definitely a hot button issue. For the last quarter, I don't wish to disclose how much my bill was, but it was way more expensive than... It was more expensive than what I'd claimed to want to think. And the thing about electricity here is there are only where I live, and this is the case around most of the nation, is that it's a monopoly. So the electricity companies can charge you what what they want, and you can't do a thing about it because there is no competition in a lot of places. So there you go. But back on to the month of February for the Generic Live Show. One idea I tried last week was pitching reality shows based off the week's events. So the Australian Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce was forced to resign after a scandal with a former advisor who he got pregnant, and the baby is due in April. So there was that fallout. So I pitched for his replacement, they should do Australia's Next Top Deputy Prime Minister. And for those of you who don't... I don't think that they would ever do that, but it's definitely, it's something fun to hypothesize. I spent about 20 minutes hypothesizing on the air about what it would be like to have a Next Top Model style show for a Next Top Model, kind of show, but for a Deputy Prime Minister. Because, politics is like reality television these days. Let's be completely frank with each other, right? Do a lot of Australian people eat kangaroo? Asks Fleetwood Gaming. Absolutely. Love a bit of kangaroo, but you gotta cook it just right. Otherwise, it goes really bad and really tough very quickly. Yeah, it's a very gamey meat, so it's very hard to cook right. They also, I don't know your gender, apologies. They also ask us why don't the Australian government invest in renewables like solar and wind? You know, near the ocean where, sidebar, 85% of the population lives. I, you and I both. I have, I have no idea why they don't. You would think that 85%, they would do that. Live on the coast at least. Like, if not, you know, you would think that they would do that. And kangaroos considered dumb like deer here in North America? Kinda. Kinda. I mean, Skippy the bush kangaroo was pretty smart. Skippy was very smart. Ish. TM. But yeah, they're kinda not the highest intelligent animal in the world, let's be completely honest here. Fleetwood Gaming says maybe you should send a letter to your government elected official saying this is BS. You guys are getting effed in electricity bills. Look, we've tried. Let me tell you, we've tried to contact the. Everyone's tried to contact the electricity provider, and you know, there's nothing we can do. It's multinational corporism with a monopoly. But back to February, the Direct Live Show. Stuff we're looking forward to with the Direct Live Show. We've got an Oscars special planned next week. Our favourite segment where we review movie reviews. So we sit down with a whole bunch of movie reviews and we review the review of a movie. If that's confusing, try doing 9 of them in an episode. So we got all Best Picture nominees, and I'll probably throw a few other ins for goodwill. Review of a review. Oscars edition. We did it last year. I think this year, because I have more of a grip on that, be able to sit down and kind of plan out which reviews I'm using before the show. And I think that was the problem last year, was that it was very, very unplanned, and that it suffered from that. And also, I need to do a bank episode for April 1st, because I'm not going to be here. I need to do that at some point during March. I'm thinking of doing the history of April Fools for my bank episode. It won't be like a normal 2-hour show. Yes, it's a 2-hour show. But it'll be definitely an hour. I'll definitely squeeze an hour out of the history of April Fools. Or news stories that broke big on the 1st of April. Like, I don't like that. I think the history of April Fools will be interesting because if I can find enough research on it, I don't think a lot of people know where April Fools originated from. So it'd be interesting to get that perspective. Let's move forward to Generic Live Home. Generic Live Home is the Generic Live Show merch store. Quick little update there. The hoodies, Generic Live hoodies that are still available, aren't selling as well as I'd hoped, which is okay because I didn't think they would. It's summer here, so I can't really pitch it to Australians, so that kind of isolates about 40% of my audience. Yes, only 40% of my audience are Australian, which is a little weird, but anyway. But they're a good item to wheel out at wintertime. To be fair, I haven't been as fully on them as I had hoped. I mean, we've got a giveaway of them happening at the moment. So, you know, we've got that promotion going on, and if people that don't win, the hope is to spread awareness, A, of the hoodie, and B, to have people go, oh, I didn't win, but I still really, really want one. There's, you know, there is, you know, all of that. It's, you know, I hope there is some cross-pollination there. In terms of Q2 promotional items, I haven't really got any details for you on that one. I know last month I had said that by March 1st I would have hoped for a knew that I would have details for you on that one. I don't really have any details on that one. I've been slammed, but I was thinking maybe a kids line of apparel, maybe, but I don't really. That's not my audience, so I don't know what benefit that would be. But also, maybe a flag, maybe a GLS Nation flag. GLS Nation flag. XSN MX says, you only have 2 viewers. How could it be 40%? That's way too true. I resignate that in my heart. No, it's 40% of 0.5. So there you go. Considering 2 viewers is up from what I was last time doing last month's, I think growth is like, if you look at those numbers, growth is like 900%. So, and how could it be 900% with 2 viewers? You do the math. Plus also, I don't count. So, let's move forward, onwards and upwards, with some lofty goals that I set for the first month of doing this. The whole point of this was to set goals on recording and hopefully stick with them. I want to say that I kind of didn't stick to landing on this one. So the development of the Discord call-in idea. So having the Geek.io Discord, geek-io.net/Discord, open during Generic Live Show and having people call in. Yes, I have done that. I promoted that. There are people that are using that during the shows, which I'm very happy for. It's not set up the way I would like it. I use the general voice channel whilst in there. But the idea was that I would have a individual kind of... keep bumping my microphone, apologies. But the idea would be that I would have a dedicated room and I'd have a moderator and all of that sort of stuff. That is definitely not the case at this time, but I have... I'm on the path to do so. I mean, and having people call in on the post show makes the post show worth sticking around for. I mean, I had 3 other people call into the post show, which is like there's 300 more people on the show that way. Fleetwood Gaming asks, do the pink headphones you're wearing, do you support breast cancer or do you like the color? Both. I definitely support the prevention of breast cancer. There are way too many people that unfortunately pass away from breast cancer every year. But I do like the color pink. It's kind of weird. I've been pink earbuds too. It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. That I like pink because I've flipped on it the last couple of years. It's something that I have grown to appreciate over there. SN, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let that one slide. excuse me, XSMNMX. I love breast. I mean, chicken breast is amazing. Hi there versus Skeptor. Welcome. This is the behind the scenes podcast for Generic Live Show. But gay or straight boobs are great, so there you go. There you go. Automod caught you there, unfortunately, but there you go. So the call-in of the development of the Discord idea is on the way. It's a patchwork solution for now. It's a one extra thing I have to worry about monitoring whilst live on the show. And it's something that I really something that I want to develop. Yeah, it do its own thing, and it's something that I'd want to. Is something that I'd want to develop in other shows and incorporate it in. But I think Generic Live Show, whilst its niche audience that it has, definitely is a good testing ground for that sort of thing. And, you know, I haven't had any problems with that. I mean, we continue to have problems with trolls on the show, but in terms of call-ins, they've definitely been people that have been amazing and friends of the network, because it's something, because you have to make an effort. You have to click a link. You have to make that considered effort. Whereas, you know, the crowd I've got today are really nice, but there are some days where there are flyby people that say things that are a little bit wacky, and then say F you and F this, and then fly off in the distance. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I have to go in and edit the video and clip that out. I don't have the chat room on show for this show, but on the Direct Live Show, I normally have the chat room on screen, which I don't know why I don't do that on this show. Chat on screen seems like it should be a staple. There you go. Chat on screen for Hangouts. That seems like something that should occur, but doesn't. There you go. You made it on a note. These things are amazing, by the way. I just jot down quick little things, put them in my proper to-do list, and there you go. So, another goal that I set myself was to have the Generic Live Home hoodie giveaway launched and done, so I could talk about the results on this show. It's launched. That's definitely something that's launched. And you can go to bit.ly/GLShood to go in the draw. Except it asks, for people of this audience, it asks you for your favorite moment of the show. You can say this. You can say the show off of the studio. You can say, you know, learning behind the scenes stuff. But there is a little thing in there. bit.ly/GLShood is where you can find all of the details for that. And it's going well. I've gotten a few entries, so it's not a complete failure. I like how this show has turned into, it's not a complete failure. That's definitely the standard, is that I did something and it worked ish. TM. But you can pick your size and color from light pink. I have pink on there. The white, black, and Irish green are the other colors as well. And I think the sizes go up to 5XL on there as well. So there you go there. So it is launched. It closes this Sunday, the 4th of March at midnight Eastern, American Eastern time. So because when I talk American time, I talk Eastern because that's the same time that Geek.io runs on. So there you go. XSNMX says you have lurkers because you do something that works. That's very true, actually. I haven't really thought about that. I have people that lurk around and enjoy the stuff, and I found this. I found this last week. There are people that listened to me talk whilst playing video games and playing League of Legends, and for a show that yes has a video component but is still very audio based, and I don't think I'm ever going to move away from my audio background and doing a bunch of production in audio and being sound guy for productions and that sort of stuff. I'm definitely still going to be audio based, but there's something awesome, there's something about the audio component, but I found it very cool that out of the thousands of things people could listen to, that whilst playing League of Legends, listened to me talk and wanted to hear my opinions on particular things, and it's something to be had for sure, and it's something that I will probably never get used to. So there you go. Other general notes before I set out some March goals. Other things that I've been up to. February seems like one of those odd months that kind of just glides on by. A, because it's so short, and B, because it's not January and people are getting back into the rhythm of the year, and definitely trying to figure out what they need to do for the year. That's definitely been me this year, and this February particularly has been rough. The beginning of February, I got very sick, to the point where I was laid up in bed for like 6 days, and didn't do anything or go anywhere. I know there are people that are literally dying, but it was rough for 5 to 6 days, just being useless. Felt terrible, and jumping back on the bandwagon after being violently ill was just something that I dreaded, but definitely worth jumping on the bandwagon, and knowing that people got my back. People got my back. Fleetwood Gaming asks why I don't invest in solar panels. I would if I owned this house. I live in a rental, and it's it's definitely the way of the future, but it took them 2.5 months to fix an AC, so solar panels are out of the question. What type of food you eat the most commonly? And Fleetwood Gaming says spaghetti. Food. Ooh, I'm across the map, but I definitely. I made the joke before. But I definitely love chicken. Chicken is my jam. Good chicken. You can do a lot with the chicken. Or sausages. Sausages are good too. Sausage. You can't go past a very good, flavoursome sausages. But excess. Damn it. XSNMX says tacos are hard to beat. Tacos are very hard to beat. Nachos are even harder to beat, I think. If we're talking strictly Mexican food, nachos are very hard to beat. And lasagna, too. I don't mind a good lasagna or potato bake. I could eat potato bake forever. Nachos are very hard to beat. Let's move on to some goals. March. I'm going to have... the one in here I have is have Q2's promotional item launched before the next Hangout. I would certainly hope so. By the end of March, which is when the hoodies go down. The hoodies are only available until the 28th of March. Sorry, the 31st of March. 31st of March that those go down off Generic Live Home. I want there to be some overlap between the two. So I want there to be some overlap between Q1 and Q2's promotional item, and I definitely, want some overlap to be. I don't know what Q2's promotional item is quite as yet. I'll announce it on the show, more than likely. Generic Live show. It's probably going to be there. I'm probably going to be investing in a flag. Not going to lie, I do like the idea of a Generic Live flag. Just for the motif of it. Not that I expect them to sell at all, but I would like the motif of having a flag. Or something gold. Or should I save gold until Christmas? Fleetwood Gaming meant not your favourite food, the food you eat every day. Ooh, the food I eat every day. I eat yogurt. Every morning for breakfast, I eat yogurt. I eat a bowl of yogurt. It's good. Flavoured sometimes, non-flavoured sometimes. I don't discriminate. That's not really discrimination, but some people say it is. But yogurt. Yogurt would be the one thing that I eat every single morning. That, and I have a granola bar as well in my diet every day. For kind of a snack. A muesli type bar. But I gotta have my yogurt in the morning when I'm at home. If I don't have my yogurt, my day hasn't started yet. For sure. But yogurt's good. In terms of quick and easy 20-something bachelor, yogurt's very easy to put together. It's out of the tub and into the bowl. Not that I can say I can't cook. I know my way around the kitchen. I'm just saying, first thing in the morning before my coffee, I don't expect me to do anything at all. Just saying. So the Q2 promotional item out there before the next Hangout is likely. Optimistically, I would like to somehow, and this is probably an internal thing, and I probably shouldn't promote it, but I'm going to anywhere. It's I would love to get a call monitor for the Twitch, and it's probably going to be within the Geek.io family, unfortunately. Apologies. But definitely, and a live switcher, because my PC is starting to struggle a little bit, and I need to shift my focus onto hosting as opposed to still produce, but I want less of that production role as well. I don't think that's going to happen in March, but it's a goal I'm going to throw out there for Q2, Q3. Down the goal. What type of phrase is that? I'm going to throw it down the goal. Down the goal. And I have a little bit of a personal goal, and this ties into what XS has typed in the chat. Do you hike? If so, what do you see? I don't hike. I walk and I run. And I really want to start doing that again. I really want to start getting out there. even if it's once a week, once in the month. By the next Hangout, I really want to have started, but not. That doesn't have to be on a regular basis, but I want to have started running again because I did. Excuse me. Back in 2016, I did the Disney half marathon, and I really want to train up to try and do another half marathon, or maybe even a full marathon, one of these days. So it's definitely something I really want to get back into, and I feel like I've been out of that game for so long, and I've become a little bit unfit because of it, and I have gained a little bit of weight because I just haven't been out there and as active as I'd wanted. But definitely the loose term of start. I did do some mountain walking as a part of my marathon training through a national park, and let me tell you, national parks and some of those bush sort of tracks that go through bushland are incredible. You come across some amazing, not only amazing animals, but amazing scenery as well at the same time, and it's definitely a sight to be seen from all of that. It's definitely an amazing sight to go bushwalking. Whether I can do that in the next month or not's another story, but definitely want to start walking and running again, and just because I want my general well-being to stay at a point where then I'm happy with. So there you go. There are my goals for March. Other things that I'm working on apart from generic live show stuff. Working on a Geek.io store, trying to get that up and running. That's a beast. Managing a second store is a lot to. Is definitely a beast of a thing. Along with the other shows that I produce on the Geek.io network, as well as the Generic Live show, and all that it encompasses. The Generic Live show brand stuff that I do, as well as other little marketing, freelance marketing, and that sort of stuff jobs that I do. It's definitely a lot of, and having a job on top of all of that as well. It gets a little much to take on another project, but I'm keen to take on another project as well. Thankfully, it'll be through Teespring, which is our Generic Live home provider as well. So a lot of the logistics and warehousing and fulfillment will be done on their part. We'll just have to get the storefront done and the graphics done and that sort of thing as well. And I'm starting to plan things for Dragon Con, which is not until the end of August. And there is already plans in motion for that. And there are already talks of panels happening and maybe a meetup, but definitely these are sort of the ideas that we have that I definitely need to jot down and either start getting to-do lists out there or definitely set reminders for myself so I can, not forget about these ideas. Like I said, I have these cards here to jot down stuff, but I have a lot of them, so I need to start managing that a little bit better. There you go. In terms of random stuff, I don't have anything. I've been really boring this month. I really want to watch... Oh, I did watch... I don't think I talked about it last month, but I think I talked about it on the Geek.io show, was My Next Guest Needs No Introduction by David Letterman. That new Netflix show. I have watched the first episode with former President Barack Obama, and I definitely need to watch the episode with Sean Connery. It's in my backlog, and I need to watch that because the first episode of My Guest Needs No Introduction was spectacular. I was addicted to it for, I think it runs for about 45 minutes, I believe. And it features former late night television host David Letterman, and of course David Letterman and former talking together in a new project. It definitely seems kind of interesting for a first episode, not gonna lie. But there you go. What else? I don't think I have anything else. Hey, chat room. Do you have anything else before we head on out of here? Any burning questions? Any burning questions, suggestions, ideas? Throw them at me. Burning question. I just said that twice. And that's going to go through the recording because I do that occasionally, which that's also a bad habit, is to test things on the show. Do test that occasionally, and that's sort of stuff I should do off air. Drew Barrymore, she was hot on Letterman. Yeah, I guess. I didn't really pay that much attention to the old Letterman stuff. I know that's sacrilegious, and I'm going to get persecuted for that. I saw bits of Letterman here and there, but I never really religiously followed it, if that makes sense. And that's much to my detriment, more so than anyone else's. But February, doing this show, February was kind of a bland month. I'm not gonna lie. February was kind of a bland month. The Generic Live show had some very poppin' moments, but behind the scenes stuff was very, it's a bleh month. XSNMX asks, why is a brick wall in your room? That's a good question. My entire house is basically built out of Besser bricks, which is a weaker style of brick. A lot of the house is built like this because we have cyclones. In where I live in Australia, they're same to hurricanes, but reversed. The wind goes clockwise instead of counterclockwise. So, it's designed to be sustainable for that. XS also states, Barrymore stood on his desk and flashed her tartars. Just lovely. Train Lovers 10 says, there was a big thunderstorm here in Sydney, Australia, and dumped 400 mils of rain and hail. There was lightning and thunder. That's huge. I hope everything's okay. That's a lot of rain. 400 mils, that's just... Oh boy. I hope all is well, and I hope that doesn't, just doesn't work. Generic are in Queensland. I'm a Queenslander. That's very true. I'm a Queenslander, so that's not wrong. It's currently raining outside where I live, so that's not entirely. Yeah. But Train Loves 10, we're doing pretty well. Generic are in Queensland. I live in Queensland. I will take that as a compliment. I'll take that as a statement, not a question. Is that how that works? Train Loves Ted says I'm in New South Wales. Yeah, going the Maroons, right? This is called sports ball references that no one else, apart from the two Australians, understand. and particularly people that live in Queensland and New South Wales. Where do you live in Queensland? I live in Cairns, in far north Queensland. So in the tropics, near the Great Barrier Reef. It's good. It's a hop and happen place, and we're gonna get some visitors here in the next couple of months. That's gonna be exciting. I've got some friends coming over from USA to come visit me here in Cairns, and it's gonna be an exciting time. But we have done about an hour here doing the behind the scenes of the Generic Live Hangout. Thank you everyone for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. We'll probably do a little bit of a post show after the recording, so we'll hang out a little bit. But where you can find the show, you can find the show on YouTube at youtube.com/genericliveshow, as well as on iTunes as Generic Live Show, anywhere where good podcasts are sold. Facebook.com/genericliveshow. I need to update that because bump my microphone again. I need to update that because I haven't been on Facebook in a while. That's where you can find the Generic Live Show. Where you can find me, on Generic Live Show is Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, American Eastern Time, over at twitch.tv/geekio show, 5:30 p.m. American Eastern, twitch.tv/geekio show, Sundays is where you can find the Generic Live Show. Personally, you can find me on Twitter at the Dale Campbell, TheDaleCampbell, the Dale Campbell. I help stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/geekio show is mostly where you can watch more of me. This channel you can find more behind the scenes stuff. Train Lovers 10 says, what sort of weather is it outside? It is raining. Not as heavy as that, but it is sprinkling with rain out here at the moment. We've got a lot of rain coming off the stuff that has been happening a bit further down south, but there has definitely not been 400 millimeters of rain. For sure. Definitely for sure. And yes, that is where we have cyclones and the cold fronts move through here all the time. So there you go. Well, for me, for everyone watching live and after the fact, I've been Dale Campbell for the Generic Live Show, and we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.